Welcome to Podnutz Daily for November 6th, 2008, episode number 110. Continuing to have flash drive problems at our shop. See, we had like 6 flash drives, but what's happening was we thought we were blaming the problem on AVG, but every time we use these flash drives to like install our software and AVG and different things, every time we rebooted the computer, it would stick and would not show the taskbar or any icons on the screen. Happened today on 2 more computers. And, me and my dad were checking it out, and it was one particular flash drive that we didn't format yet that was giving us the problem. So something infected all of our flash drives, like all 4, 5, 6 of them. And every time we used them, when you reboot that particular computer, it would freeze at right when you start Windows. It would not show the taskbar. It would not show any of your icons, but the computer would still be running. Formatted all the flash drives, and that solved the problem. We just got the last one today. Guy walked in with a ThinkPad today. He said it had a fan problem, and he actually bought the fan. He actually brought the bag that the new fan in. He bought a fan, said he opened up the laptop, put the new fan in, replaced it, still had an error. He was getting an error that said fan malfunction or something like that. So when you turn on the computer, it would see the BIOS, then it would say fan malfunction, then it would turn off. That was what happened every time. So he replaced the fan, still got the fan malfunction, put the old fan back in, put it back together, and brought it to me. And what I did, I said, I turned it on myself, and I think it did the same thing, fan malfunction. I took the computer outside, took a can of compressed air, blew all the dust out of the heatsink, brought it back in, turned it back on, thing worked fine. So even though he put another fan in, there must have been so much dust clogged into that heatsink that the fan either wasn't being effective or it was being clogged. Now, you got to be careful when you blow. There's a computer with a lot of dust in that heatsink. It's going to clump up, and you don't want to blow it into the fan blade, so the fan jams. So when you're using the compressed air, the can of compressed air, and you're blowing the dust out of a laptop, squeeze that air until you can hear the fan spinning. You got to hear the fan spin, because if the fan's not spinning, there's still a blockage. And don't use your whole can of compressed air. After you blast it in there enough, and the fan's not spinning, take your vacuum, or like a wet dry vac, and put it over the fan on the underside of the laptop and suck all the chunks out that are going to be sticking it. Because if the fan's not spinning, there's something sticking it. Take the vacuum and suck all those chunks out, then try to compress air again. In conjunction between the two, get that fan to spin. Once the fan's spinning, you'll be okay. So that was the only problem with this particular ThinkPad. Blew the dust out of it. That was it. He couldn't believe it because he had bought a new fan, took the whole thing apart, and he's not a laptop repairman. He's just a normal guy. Figured out how to take the whole thing apart, replaced the fan, still had a problem, put it back together, brought it to me. I went in there with a can of compressed air and fixed it. So it is such a common problem, cleaning the dust out of those computers, and it really solves a lot of problems, actually. One, on an aside here, you want to blow it from the bottom and the side. You want to blow it both. Just clear out the whole passageway. And I charged him $10, and he was happy about that. He actually had another tip for us too. He came in and he said, "Have you guys ever gone on Craigslist?" I'm like, "Yeah, I go on Craigslist all the time." He's like, "Did you ever go in the free section on Craigslist?" He's like, "I was on there the other day. There was a guy giving away 12 MacBook Apple PowerBooks, G3s and G4s. The only problem is they didn't have hard drives. He was just throwing them away. Another guy had like 12 LCD monitors he was just throwing away. And he went on to say, this customer, he went on to say, like, I guess in the economy, a lot of businesses are closing their doors and they just want to get rid of all their stuff. So if you go in the free stuff section of Craigslist, according to him, there's a lot of deals there that a person who is interested in fixing laptops or repairing laptops or computers might be able to get a whole bunch of junker computers, or maybe not so junker computers and screens, put them together and make complete sets and sell them. I haven't gone on the free stuff on Craigslist yet myself. What he was saying to me sounded too good to be true, so I didn't get too excited, because usually when it's too good to be true, it's actually too good to be true. It doesn't exist. But I haven't gone on there yet to see for myself. Maybe it is happening like he said. Anyway, I just figured I'd throw it out there. Since he gave the tip to me, I'll give it to you guys. Internet Explorer 8 giving us problems again. We get a lot of drivers from Dell's website. We go on to Dell.com. When we have a computer, we're doing a reinstall and we don't have the drivers. We go to Dell.com and download the drivers. In Internet Explorer 8, on some models of Dell's, when you go in there and try to download the driver, you cannot choose that model. I think it uses Flash. Dell switched over, I think, to using Flash or some other Ajax or something they're using now for their driver screen. So it's not communicating well with Internet Explorer 8. Well, as soon as we did it with Firefox, the thing worked fine. So just another thing on Internet Explorer 8, it is in beta for a reason, I'm finding out. So don't go freely putting it on all your customers' machines or even your own machines unless you're ready to face a little bugs here and there. The other bug I mentioned yesterday, I'll just go over it again, is Comcast Mail. If you use Internet Explorer 8 on Comcast Mail, when you're actually reading an email, some of the icons disappear on in the email interface on Comcast. It did on one machine for us anyway. I don't know if it's going to happen with all of them. Yeah, I agree. Just use Firefox, and none of you won't have that problem. We actually covered that in the Great Tech Debate. If you guys are wondering where the episodes of the Great Tech Debate is, I'm still very stubbornly not releasing any more episodes till I get my website up and running. I'm taking any extra time. I'm not putting it into doing any more podcasting. I'm putting it into getting this website up and running. Which reminds me, if anybody's good with Drupal, which is the content management software I'm using for the new Podnutz website. If anybody's really good with Drupal, you got to let me know. I'm having a problem with the views module and setting up a theme for the views module. If anybody knows how to theme views in Drupal, send me an email at mail@podnutsdaily.com. Okay, last thing I want to talk about, what happened at the shop, is that Sony Vaio laptop, about a $1,200 system, almost just over a year old. Motherboard, I thought, was the problem. The thing will not start. We put a new motherboard in, it won't start. No lights, no nothing, no power, it's just dead. Tested the power adapter, it's fine. Tested the hardware, it's fine. Only thing it could possibly be to me is the motherboard or the power supply. No, not power supply. Motherboard or the processor. And we went ahead and I found on Craigslist, which I'm telling you, Craigslist has gems, a Core 2 Duo mobile processor. A guy down the street is selling it for like $65. So instead of me having to get on eBay and find one and get it shipped to me and wait a couple more days and the customer's like, where's my computer? I'm going to go down the street. I'm going to buy a Core 2 Duo mobile chip for $65. So you got to love Craigslist. Just be alert when you use it. Be careful for scams. Anything that's too good to be true, ignore it. Anything that's a little too general, ignore it. Anything where they're talking about a particular item and the picture they include is not the item that they're talking about, it's a completely different model, ignore it. There's I would say on Craigslist, 50% of it's bull and 50% is actually good stuff, and maybe 2% of the good stuff is actual gems. So if you scan Craigslist long enough, you will find good stuff. Also check out craigshelper.com. It's a site by I guess he's a friend of mine, I could say.